In today's episode, we spoke about street valleys, filling in your bud, and PTs being full of it. Welcome to episode
50.
Is it
50?
That comes after 49.
That comes after 49.
Welcome to episode 50
Wow.
of the No Rep podcast. I'm with the usual Big Joe Green and Big Papa Ev.
Papa Ev.
How we doing, Papa Ev?
Papa fucking Eb. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well
Thank you.
done. He's had sex.
I had sex.
First time?
It was the
First
best
time and it worked.
30 seconds of... I was really good for that 30 seconds. But yes, to fill in the viewers.
Yeah, but
Just Amanda.
I was going to make the joke and I stopped myself. Here we go.
Yeah,
The big man knows what it is. Lads. Yep, I'm having a baby. June, November, the 28th or something. Yeah, I was going to drop
Sorry,
that
Amanda, I
in
love
later.
you so
Sorry,
much,
I love
darling.
you. And she doesn't watch podcasts anyway, so just
Never let her hear that.
yes, having a baby, really excited, joining the dad club. Fucking
go,
you.
Matt. Uncle Dan, you'll always be Auntie Danny.
I know.
You'll
best
literally
Auntie
always
Danny.
be Auntie Danny, but
The
you're
best
having a wee girl, man.
Team
Girl Dad Club.
Yeah, Girl Dad Club. So you didn't know until you were having a girl until when? When was it? You did a big review.
We
and all that,
done
didn't you?
like kind of just a wee family gender reveal type thing.
Yeah.
And so I've only known for like 2 weeks. But we've known, like we let the world know on Instagram, as you do, 20 weeks, just because we wanted to make sure everything was like cushy, which is fair. Do you know what I mean?
Sweet,
But we've known we were pregnant for like a lot. We were literally just chatting about this. So when we went on holiday, this is I'll tell you the story. So we went on holiday, right? Went to Morocco. And me and Amanda got a bit carried away one night, right? Obviously, as you do, right? That's what happens. And then basically,
Why
like
was so mature?
because we're kids, at the first opportunity when when we got back and stuff, she took a test because like, missed a period and whatever. And then you can actually she uploaded a video that she'd been curating for weeks. It was actually really good. Like, loads of people messaged me saying, like, I'm crying.
I've actually got a picture, right? Sorry to jump in. I have a picture, and I actually meant to send you this. It's just popped into my head right there. But when Amanda posted that video, I have a picture of Katie in floods of tears. Watching that video. She was genuinely crying.
I know. See
watching
if
that
anyone
video.
wants to do a baby reveal video, just ask Amanda. Like,
Yeah,
she'll
it was
charge
fucking
25
good,
quid a
man.
video
Got a
or
lot
something.
of fun, yeah.
But yeah, so you can see in the video, came down the stairs and then I was shocked. But it was actually the video was cropped because it's the morning and
He was naked.
and I was naked. No, but literally came down the stairs at like 6 a.m. Fucking hell. But yeah, baby girl, November.
Amazing, man. I'm so happy for you.
It took me a wee while to like, because obviously it wasn't planned. Took me a wee while to be like, fuck, this is it, I'm going to be a dad.
Cool with
Because
it.
babies were never like really particularly on my agenda. I just wanted loads of
just
cats and money.
Mate,
Right.
it's funny, right? Because Katie was crying for two reasons watching that video. Crying because obviously like the delightful news, then also crying that she didn't really get much of that same moment that you guys had, because when she told me, there was a couple of times previous, like, oh, I think I'm pregnant, and it didn't happen. The whole cries wolf situation, and that one time she was like, Jordan, I was like, I'm pregnant. And then I was in bed, that early morning type vibe again. I just looked at her and I just fucking rolled and I just went back to sleep. Straight up. I just ignored her. And then she was fucking funny with me the rest of the day. I was like, I wonder what's up with her. And she was like, Jordan, do you realise what's happening here? And I'm like, what? She's like, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, all right. Just total denial. Like, didn't even be like, oh, like, are you sure? Or whatever. Just complete denial. It was only until I was sat with the jelly on her and all that. And you seen the wee boom, 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 boom.
It's like a wee frog.
The wee frog there. And I'm like,
Bum, bum, bum,
what's that?
that shouldn't be there. Why is that there?
What's that? And is it a boy?
What a disappointment that is.
But I'm now having a girl. I think I only want girls. I don't think I want boys. So I'm happy that it's a girl. And I said that to you as well. I was like, I hope it's a girl.
Yeah,
So the Hattie and future baby. That I'm sure you've got plenty of names for organised.
I don't even want to talk about the names. Fucking hell. Like, I like like kind of Gaelic names, Scots Gaelic, Irish Gaelic, heritage, all that. I think they're really cool, and I like the name. I like the name Una.
You
Right,
told me this, yeah.
like also like Una from the Saturdays, right, but not named after her.
Hot.
And hot, yeah, yeah, she is. She actually is. Una's. But Amanda said to me, "No, we're not calling her Una. Not calling her fucking Una." And I was like, "Why are we not calling her Una?" Because the kids in school say Una, chicken boona. We're not calling her. I said to her, I said, literally, no kid in primary school is going to put that together.
No.
Like, at all.
No.
But there's a bit of friction with names. And because like, Amanda's family's from Iran, so obviously she's got the kind of Persian heritage. So my mum being my mum is, oh my God, Persian names. And she's like fucking on the internet. And she's like, Evan, why don't we call her like Mazmadullah? And I'm like, Mum,
Mazmadullah.
I'm not calling my kid Mazmadullah, but it means sapphire.
Aye.
I don't care if it means sapphire.
Lovely name, but I'm pretty sure we can get to Buna for that as well. If you try.
I know, but so there is a bit of friction. There's a couple that we're kind of semi-decided on, but
That must be so difficult, man.
Aye. How did you come up with?
I've told you this.
You have told me. I think I remember.
So she was saying a bunch of names and I was saying a bunch of names, and in all honesty, I didn't really think of any girl names. Like, I'd always thought of like boy names.
This is my daughter Barry.
If I had a kid, I was always thinking like of just boy names. So then I never really thought of girl names. I was thinking of them. I just didn't really like any. And she was any that I did like, I would say, and then she'd be like, "Oh no, I've got like a Mazmadullah in my class." And they're a fucking pain in the ass because she's a teacher. So any name mentioned,
fair,
they obviously relate it back to a kid that they've taught or currently teach. So that fucking think about any kids that these teachers deal with. So that was a nightmare. But we were just randomly watching a movie. Watching, what's it called again? Hobbs and Shaw.
That's a good movie, isn't it?
Fuck you laughing at, Paul? Paul laughing in the background. We were watching Hobbs and Shaw, right? And I don't even know
This is my daughter Hobbs.
Well, I don't even know why I'm watching it. And then Hobbs or Shaw, whatever one's Jason Statham, his sister is called Hattie in the film. And then we just like looked at each other and I went, do you like that name? She was like, do you like that name? I was like, I really like that name. I think that name's cool. And then she's like, fuck it. And then we never really said like we'll call her Hattie. It just was like decided.
This is high.
But it's from the most random shit weird movie. I heard the name and I was like, I like that.
We are having the argument about, not the argument about just now, but it's like what the surname's going to be. So it's obviously going to be like, I just assumed it would be whatever we call her.
Yeah.
Middleton.
Yeah.
And then Amanda's like, no, like Houston Middleton. And I'm like, but why? She said, well, until we're married.
Does she want a double barrel it?
Forcing that,
Does she want a double barrel it?
Well, I said, like,
Let me tell you how I got out of this.
So did you have the same conversation?
So this is, we obviously had Hattie before we were engaged, right?
Yeah.
Hoping none of them listen to this. we put McMillan as the middle name.
So Hattie's middle name's McMillan.
Yeah. Right, but then obviously she's just Hattie Green on everything. So
Who
I got my
actually-
way. She also got her way.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares about middle names
Nobody.
anyway? Nobody cares, mate.
Nobody,
Nobody fucking cares, mate.
Nobody.
You seen that clip? Shogun on James English. Nobody fucking cares, mate.
Yeah, I have actually.
Anyway, so nobody fucking cares, right?
Nope.
So I was like, fucking stick it in the middle name.
Keep them happy.
clever.
I did say though that if I ever had a boy, I would want his middle name to be, it's like Cowboy Cerrone. I want his middle name to be Danger.
To be Danger. Danger Green.
Cowboy Cerrone's son is called whatever. Danger
No, it's
Cerrone.
no.
That is.
Is
Google it right now.
Danger Green.
So his middle name's going to be Danger.
I always see if I had a boy, I always quite fancied like calling my kid Evan so I could call him Junior.
I like that.
I like that.
Man.
Where's Junior?
I like that.
I like
Like-
that.
Yeah, I like that. Junior.
But
And then you become senior.
that was a no.
Was it?
That was a no. You're not calling it Evan. No.
Well, obviously, you keep the names to. Oh, I told you about the story in my old work about when someone told me that they were going to name somebody. Remember, Evan? I
Oh
might have
yes,
said
you did.
Sainsbury's the other day.
Yeah,
I'm not going to rehash the story, but basically,
make it up, but make it different.
nah, I can't, man, because it's too obvious. But basically, there was a guy that I used to work with who was having a baby, and then everyone was like, "Oh, have you thought of names?" And he said, "We're going to call him Mazmadullah, right?" And I went, "Oh, I knew a Mazmadullah." And I went, "What was he like?" And then it turned out the guy was like, I don't know, whatever. So I said it. I said who the guy was, Wasn't that he wasn't a nice guy, it's just that it was a big story about him. Same first and second name though, this was the thing.
Oh.
Right? So it was like exact same name. And he was like, oh, something like that. Why did I say that? And then they end up calling their son that name. The
Masvidal.
person that fucking...
Shit.
Yeah, it was weird. I'll tell you off air.
Obviously it didn't annoy them then enough.
Oh,
that would have stuck in my fucking head,
This is the
man.
thing, his face changed and the office went quiet and I was like, bro, you shouldn't have said that.
I shouldn't have said that.
But I fucking hated every
you should
cunt
not
in
have
there
said
anyway. So it doesn't matter. Fuck him. Don't care. Anyway.
By the way, Dowboy Caroni, his son's called Daxon. Daxon Danger.
Daxon Danger Cerrone.
Double E.
I'm also really against like American names, like overly American names like Hudson.
See, I like the name for a boy.
Hudson Middleton.
No, what I like the name for a boy.
It's quite nice.
Jackson with an
X.
J-A-X. I like
Jax.
Oh god.
I like
Jax, that's cool.
No, thank you. Sorry if your child's called Hudson. But I do apologise, but it's a terrible name.
My wee cousin. It's called Hudson.
Is it actually?
Jordan's be
Hudson?
Mm-hmm. Hudson.
Well,
He's cool, right?
Here.
I'm sure he is.
I'm not sorry. This is my opinion. I'm just saying. So,
Anyway, so big congrats and a big cheers to Sir Evan Middleton.
There we go, man.
Father.
dilly.
We're all grown up boys, eh?
I know, I feel like an adult.
What are we here to do? We're doing a podcast?
Apparently we're doing
Sure,
a
we've got
podcast.
fitness to talk about or something like that. There's a lot happening in the
what's
world,
happening
you know,
though?
apart from Evan becoming Papa.
Oh, yeah.
So, recently in Scotland, the act has been, I don't know if you would call it, it's not been passed, but it's been put forward to decriminalise drugs in Scotland. And I mean, obviously that's big for a number of reasons, but it basically means that the possession of drugs is basically legal, but I take it probably within a certain like degree and a certain amount. But obviously,
This 10 kilos of cocaine is my personal
your
use.
room is just packed with weed plants. It's
Kiloed up in the fucking the
sound.
back of the micro, man.
right. So obviously the possession sound, but basically, what's your thoughts on it? But basically, I'll go into a wee bit more detail. It's to allow for people to kind of be treated and supported, because a lot of the time, obviously, people can maybe be kind of scared to go forward for help because they're like, what I'm doing is illegal. And it can put people off maybe reaching out for the help that they need with their drug addiction or whatever. So that's the reason why. Thoughts on it all?
I think. What's your thoughts?
I'm not for it.
No.
Well, really? Nah. How so?
Because
Jail them all.
deal a lot of them. No. I don't know. This is my gut instinct, right? My gut reaction is, and again, I've not looked into this a bunch, and I'm sure plenty of people will have differences of opinion, and that's obviously absolutely fine. But just on the off chance, I'm like, I don't know if I'm sound with that. But see, the thing is, right? Here's a point: whether it's decriminalised or not, I do believe that it will still be the same people that would still probably carry drugs on them anyway. Right? Do you know what I mean? Whether it's criminalised or decriminalised, whatever, I think it's still going to be the same people that use them, same people that carry them, same people, whatever. I just don't really think that. I think for potential younger people, the fact that if it is decriminalised, then it is seen as not that bad. And then if it's seen as not that bad, is that a gateway for more people to do them who would otherwise potentially not have? Question mark. Not an expert, just my thoughts.
It's a great point, man.
Do you know what? I'm kind of on the same wavelength as you, to be quite honest. But it's one of those things. I told a story on here, like I don't know how many episodes ago, but I was basically back when it was a while ago when I was training like people in person, and I was training a wee guy. He was like 16 or something. He was still in school, right? And then I got to know him. Then I started selling him drugs, and I didn't. I became his dealer. No, but basically, he just kind of off the cuff said, he said something like, I was on the ching like at the weekend. I was like, you've not even got pubes yet, wee man. Like, wild. But the kind of point I'm making is it's becoming, well, I think probably a lot more of an issue with
younger people,
fucking young folk and all that.
Exactly.
Like, see when I was 16, I was probably just stopped using Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And now they're fucking doing lines.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not quite.
No,
Do
well,
you know what I mean?
Aye.
no, but the
No,
thing
but
is,
you're right.
No, I mean, I stopped
Aye.
Pokemon cards earlier. Like, this is the point. This is the point I'm making.
sure you did it.
Oh shit.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mate, I think you're right as well. I think that it's happening younger and younger. Do you know what I mean? And I think that people just follow the kind of generation after them. So for us, the people that were in front of us or whatever were just like BAMs getting fucking mad with it in the park. Like, right, we'll do that then.
Aye.
And then now that we started doing that a wee bit younger, then people younger than us started doing that. But then as people our age started doing that, they also maybe started taking drugs. So then the other younger people started, and then it's just fucking, before you know it, man, you're going to have 9 months.
I was naive and all to think, I was naive and all to think like, oh, when I get to 30, whatever, people probably won't be like we were back in the day. But I'm so fucking surprised that it's no went.
Do you know
Like, there is obviously still an element of people, you can see them like staying in school a lot longer. That's obviously good. People are arguing through, but it's them that are still into it.
See, the thing
It's
is,
people that
right,
have got a bit of brain behind them.
I think that an important point to make is that whether people want to criminalise drugs or decriminalise drugs, I think they both get the same goal of less drugs being taken by people or less deaths caused
by
by taking drugs.
Yeah.
I think the goal's the same. And it's weird. It freaks me out because people get so like uptight if you have a difference in opinion. But if the goal's the same, it's like politicians. You get fucking one side and then you get the other side. We want to help the people by doing this. We want to help the people by doing this. Everybody wants to fucking help people. But like they've just got a different way or a different goal of doing it. Now politics is obviously a little bit different because there's so many fucking different avenues about it. But with the whole decriminalising of drugs is that I think they're doing, I'm sure, again, I'm not an expert in this fucking topic, but they're probably doing that because they want less people to die from taking drugs, less people to be arrested and be in jail for taking drugs, like these sorts of things. I think that's what people want, is less drugs on the streets, fundamentally.
Yeah, 100%.
So if it's getting worse currently, doing what we're currently doing, and it's getting worse, then maybe something like that might change it.
Well, look at Amsterdam, right? So they'd obviously they've decriminalised it, right? Hence why, and you can also sit. Well, you can get into a shop and buy fucking weed and mushrooms and all the rest of it.
You can't. I don't know if.
But I don't know if you can be selling it about the street. Do you know what I mean?
No,
But it's still
can't.
it's definitely decriminalised if you can buy it and take it. I'm assuming. In cafes and stuff like that. Like you can walk about
I
smoking
don't
it.
know about anything else though.
So mushrooms and that, I know, or shrooms, truffles. Sorry, I know you can.
Yeah.
you can
Continue.
take-
Continue,
Anyway, so
sorry.
so they've got clinics that you can go in if you've got an addiction, but you can actually get clean drugs from the clinics to aid your addiction. But it's kind of there and encourage people to get in, and then they're surrounded with doctors and people that are there to help them.
Support.
So it's almost like I come in and it's trying to then
They don't
give them
have
the
that
support
here.
and help. I don't know.
Fuck,
I don't think they minister it like that.
I feel like they
Do you know what we
don't
watched?
think
See on
so.
Channel 4, there's the guy's a bit wanky to be quite honest, but it's a show called 60 Days. 60 Days on the Estate or 60 Days on the Scheme, and it's basically this guy, and he's like a survivalist, and he spends like
I just got a picture of like fucking Bear Grylls going to
Grylls,
Castlemilk that night. I'm going to try here for 4 days in Castlemilk.
drink my own piss. But basically, he goes into like a scheme in Birmingham for 20 days just to see what it's like actually like with
Fucking
like
hell.
people, how they live and all that. And he does one in London, I think, but he also does one in Easterhouse, right? And
Does he?
yeah, it's actually such a good watch.
Why the fuck have I not heard of this?
I mean, I was literally just browsing on like 4OD or whatever it is now, and it's a great watch. It's captivating, right? But he goes in and he basically like, he just asks people like, "Can I stay with you for a couple of days?" Just like fucking junkies and all that, and it's eye opening. Like one of the guys, I feel so sorry for the bloke that he stayed with, and I feel sorry for them all. But in Easterhouse, and he's been in methadone for 15 years and all that stuff, but. So what I was the kind of point I was making was, see, obviously, like, and again, I don't know enough about it. Like, I've had folk in my family that have had troubles with heroin and all that shit. So is methadone not what's supposed to try and get you off of heroin.
It's
that's right.
Yeah.
Basically,
Because
right?
then what ends up happening?
But they're on it for 15 years.
Yeah.
So see, if you're on it for 15 years, that would suggest to me that it's probably not working. He's still on like a high dose,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm kind of thinking like, right, if that's probably not the only case of that,
Uh-huh.
what's like,
What else?
what are they going to fucking do? Like, how can?
Oh,
Well,
mate, it's-
this is
I used to
so.
work in a pharmacy where obviously it was up. It was a greenhouse pharmacy, right enough. So there was plenty of people coming in for the prescription of methadone on the daily, but then they would also try and come in later on that day, buy Solpadeine, buy Cocodamol, buy whatever, buy this, buy that,
The good shit.
on top of like whatever, and you had to like fucking shoo them away and be like, no, you need to come back in again.
Do you know what?
later, and,
Do you know
like-
what the problem is just now? Apparently, to according to that show, street blues.
Oh, aye.
So street valleys,
Oh, aye.
which are like doctored Valium. Fucking.
Yep,
Man,
it's
I
got
didn't even know that was a thing.
Yep, they're lacing it with stuff. People dying in prisons and stuff like that. Right? So my stance on it is I'm for it. I'm for the decriminalisation. Because it is going to make it the support's going to be then enhanced, and there's going to be more money put behind the support for people that have got drug problems, right? So I guess they'll feel less ashamed or less scared to come forward. So for that, as you're saying, Jordan, it's going to help people. It's going to hopefully stop deaths. Do you know what I mean? People coming off it early and stuff. So for that reason, I'm like for it. But then then I look at kind of America, right? And this is a kind of view I've gotten it is America decriminalised, then America made it legal to buy, right? So that you can go and fucking get weed and all that, and you can get a lot more stuff, right? But obviously the decriminalisation part is what I'm talking about. You've obviously, that kind of started and it was all good, but look at America now. Look at some of the states in America like Ohio, Washington, places New York.
Philadelphia, I saw a video.
Philadelphia.
Mate, fucking wild.
You've got fucking zombies walking about, like literally hanging over each other and all the rest of it. And over the last
like Paisley.
5 years, it's got maybe just like Paisley.
Sorry.
It's getting pure what a fucking shots fired, man. It's got 10 times worse, right? I don't know the numbers. I should have probably looked into the numbers and the stats, but it has got a lot worse. There is a huge problem in America now. So you're almost looking at it like, is some countries going to be very accepting of that and it will help, or are some countries just fucking doomed? And like, if you aid in a way, is it going to make it worse?
Don't know. It's
You know?
it's fucking.
As a point, it needs
roll
to
the
be
dice,
considered.
mate. Like,
Aye.
they don't know till they try.
Aye. But I mean, if I could sit in a cafe, smoke weed and take truffles, I'd do it in a heartbeat. So, like, if you want to start by decriminalise it and then make it legal, fair play. I think it under... I think it depends what's then
Do you know what
sold.
it is?
I'm looking at a pros and cons list right now, right? And then it says list of pros and cons of decriminalisation, right? And I don't know if I fully agree with some of the pros that they're saying for decriminalisation. So one of them, right, and this is the big one, so I've looked at multiple lists as you were just talking there, and it says one of them's like, it changes the stigma or it changes how society views people. I don't think it does. It doesn't matter if something's legal or not.
Maybe
Like,
not
you've
now.
still-
Maybe not now, but maybe in the future.
No.
Maybe. You know, like
What if they,
as
what if
time
they,
goes
what if
on.
they decriminalised
I know what you're going to say.
racism? What do you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to go to like, something else.
No, but if they decriminalised racism, would you view someone differently whether it was legal or illegal if they were being racist? No,
still
you would still
think
think,
like,
oh, that person's being racist. Now, if someone was taking drugs or not taking drugs, whether it was decriminalised, no, if someone was taking drugs, whether it was decriminalised or criminalised, you wouldn't be like, was the person's on drugs. Like, so if somebody was fucking off their nut on meth running up and down the street, you'd be like, oh, it's fine, it's legal.
It's
let
legal
fuck-
now, it's
But
okay.
Fuck me, there's some meth head running up and down the street.
He's like, there's a dragon
Regardless.
chasing me. Ah.
Exactly, right? It's you fucking.
It's
doesn't
fine.
That doesn't matter. I think that's a crock of shite. It allows the criminal justice system to focus on what it does best. That's another thing. What's that? What, put bad guys in jail?
I know I would like
Protect
I know the
politicians.
majority
So
of
what
bad
happens,
guys
right,
in
so
Scotland that go to jail are fucking drug dealers, right?
Exactly.
Like,
So the decriminalisation of drugs, there's a lot of drug dealers in jail. Do they get jailed, but the people that take it are fine?
yeah.
Do you need
you're
to
selling
sort
it.
out the jails first?
But someone needs to. So someone needs to.
It's a fucking hotel.
If decriminalisation of if they want to decriminalise drugs, right? It's okay to take them, but it's not okay to sell them.
I think so. Yeah.
Personal possession's fine.
Personal
Selling
possession's
it's not, and there'll probably be a limit of how much you can have on you if you're like, kitty out my bags. It's mine,
for
man.
me.
It's for me.
I don't know. Like then I feel like there's just more grey area potentially.
it-
There always will be.
Potentially.
There always will be.
You know what I mean?
Surely.
So I don't know. And again, I'm not. Again, my gut reaction was that I'm against it. I don't know if I'm against it. I just don't know if it's the right move to make potentially.
I can see. I can if they do it in the way where Amsterdam's obviously got the drop-ins and got the places that you can go to, and help is readily just right there and
So in
available.
Scotland, they've got needle exchanges. I just googled
Aye,
it. Yeah.
but they don't have like the actual drugs.
There may be. Also, another point, so this is a good point actually, is that decriminalisation isn't the same as legalisation.
No,
So there's a
Aye.
difference between the two, which I'm just thinking.
legalization is like
It's fine.
there's a cafe just popping up now selling.
Yeah.
Meth.
Yeah, well,
a meth
well, I don't know what it was selling. I guess there's probably. So what would they then need to do? Paul, you might know better than this. See in America, see when they legalised, well, some states legalised it. Did they change?
Talking about cannabis, but
Yeah, did they change?
about all drugs.
Aye, but did they change the class of cannabis?
No.
No, they just kept it.
But Portugal have done this, and they reduced their drug deaths by 50%.
There you go.
Is that
That's
right?
incredible.
Wow.
That's
Well, there you go. So then
Paul-
maybe it is the thing that needs to happen
Yeah, so
in order
Paul-
for a
Paul
change to
said
occur.
But then also, this is my kind of thoughts on that is I don't think people in the UK would behave the same as people elsewhere. I know that's a sweeping generalisation.
I think you're correct.
I think. See if like the world was a nursery, the UK and America would be in timeout because people inherently can't behave.
See if you were to just like go like
They'd always sit with
super
D
narrow it
hats
down,
on.
right? to super narrow it down. We can't even buy bevy before 10 o'clock.
mental, right?
Can't drink at the football.
Just Glasgow, can he?
Yeah. Glasgow can't buy bevy before 10 o'clock. You can't even buy it at the football. Got a Premier League game down south, yeah, you can fucking have
Do
a
you, do you know?
So like, is it the right thing for us? Because we're not fucking.
Do you know we're the cocaine capital in Europe?
No.
Do you know?
Bollocks.
That, so see
Google that.
in
Fact check
normal
that.
times, you can't drink in the street in Glasgow, right? But between 6 o'clock on New Year's Eve and 11 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Day, you're allowed to in the bylaw.
That's London.
right?
now.
Yep.
Is
So there
that
you
right?
go. Know your bylaws.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not cocaine. London is, but so still UK, right? We're still, but this is off topic, but it's it's antidepressants.
Oh,
We're like.
do you
one of the
remember
main
we used to
prescribers of that.
used to wear
Very far from cocaine.
Glasgow was the stab capital of the world or something. Folk used to wear that as a badge of honour on
was it
holiday.
not- was it
You'd be
also-
telling somebody, no, we're the stab capital of fucking of the world.
But was it no also genuinely in the same year made the happiest place in Europe?
To live, something like that.
Or something like that, wasn't it?
Happy stabbing.
Fuck that, man.
I'll stab you, but I'll fucking phone the ambulance for you. Right.
Do you know what? This is actually a good segue into what we kind of want to talk about today, which
Which
ish,
was?
not quite antidepressants and stuff,
No, that was just
but
my heat.
we wanted to chat about the coaches, I suppose, people not living authentically.
Here's the thing, right? Quickly before we move on to that, how about we make the drugs legal, we sell them in shops, right? Tax them heavily, tax me less.
Boom. I actually was going to make a point when we were chatting about it. Like, I think
Tax Joe less.
Tax just me
Just Joe.
less.
see, like I think they're missing
Tax
a beat
drugs.
because think about see. Obviously, like I think you get not good drugs and bad drugs, but I think greens less.
Mate, there was boys
less
getting fucking blazed up just 2 seconds ago before we
outside,
came in.
and he was drinking a large can of Red Bull, which I think's a bit noncy.
If you're drinking full sugar,
Mate, it was before 10 a.m. He's fucking lighting up massive doobie, big pint can of fucking Red Bull.
Aye.
Did you know
A
what
big
tops
can
it-
of Monster's
do you know what
fine,
tops
big
it for-
can of Red
do you know
Bull
what tops it
nonce.
off?
That's the same thing, I know.
It's different, but
nah, it's different. Do you know what tops it off? He was wearing worky gear, so he's either doing somebody's bathroom the new, or he's got to do somebody's bathroom the new. Like he
I fucking like.
fully it, man.
I can't. Anyway, right, what I was trying to say there was like green. There's loads of folk that do green and all that. Amsterdam, they've got a big market for it.
Yep.
The UK government's
ton of actual benefits.
are probably missing a massive beat.
Well, even like on the subject of methadone, you were talking about it, Ev, to help people come off of heroin, right? Like this research now on psychoactive drugs and psilocybin and mushrooms on helping people come off of heroin, it's been proven to be so much more effective than fucking methadone.
You are Mushroom Maholland.
So I've never took them, but I'm dying to take them. I'm dying to go to Amsterdam just for an experience. Paul, do you want to go to Amsterdam?
You just get them now if you want.
I don't know if I'll repeat that, but
Here you go.
so aye.
But yes,
Sorry, right.
Anyway.
On to our segue. So we were kind of chatting about
Drug daft.
we weren't actually chatting about coaches doing drugs then, but we're just kind of chatting about people maybe not practicing what they preach and stuff to their clients, not living authentically. And what's your kind of thoughts surrounding that with people in our industry?
I think that the more potentially successful a coach is, the more that they are potentially living up to what they ultimately sell. I think.
Agree.
Do you know what I mean? So like if someone's a living embodiment of their brand, so to say, just fucking shoved that mic down my throat there, a living embodiment of their brand, so to say, then you're going to buy into that a wee bit more. So to zoom out a wee bit, know how the brand represent that George Heaton, and he's basically like, the mission is to like live the brand, be the brand. He's fucking all about like
Feel the brand.
yeah, exactly. Almost maybe on the fucking far end of that spectrum, like he's in, that's him. I have a fucking tattoo on, or like getting like really into it. But then part of me like kind of likes that, because you know exactly, like he is what he wears. He wears what he is. Do you know what I mean? Like it just fucking all works. So like if you buy into him, you buy into the clothes he wears and the shit that he sells.
Which I actually have thoughts on.
Aye. Whereas like for someone like who's potentially a PT, who's, you know, fucking, if all they're doing is bragging about making sure that you're disciplined, making sure that you're routine, making sure you have a morning routine, making sure that you have fucking this dialed in, that dialed in, but they're out buying lunch every day because they don't prep, they're fucking staying up late and sleeping in, they're fucking not training hard every single day, they're out getting bevied, but they're telling everyone else this fucking facade.
Aye.
I think that's when it becomes a little bit wrong.
Aye, I agree, mate. I in my 20s, I was...
Which was 40 years ago.
40 years ago, right? Bevying, obviously, at the weekend all the time. Chinese Sundays, hundreds of sweets to go with my hangover, lying about like a bag of shite. But then I would get into my clients all week, and I'd be like, how's your weekend? And I'm talking about them to get results, and they tell me, and I'm like, I'd maybe like change that at the weekend and do that at the weekend, when I fucking know fine well. So like I remember trying to encourage them to be better at weekends and be better, and it was so difficult for me to actually have a conversation with them, because I was just making stuff up.
Yeah.
I was just like, I think this is probably a better way of doing it. I think, because I fucking don't do it. And then obviously, so I'm like put myself under the bus here. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, I wasn't living authentically, but I would say Jordan's nailing the head, man. Like you look at kind of coaches and you look at the success in them, and you can almost like start to see their clients in them a lot of the time, and you can actually start to see that with Jordan. I think you can definitely, like, I think Jordan's built a great thing in Gainline, and you can see that in clients. Like it has, these are all similar. You could all go out and probably have a coffee and sit and talk about the same stuff, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I found it a lot easier, because beforehand, when I first started being a PT, I was like the usual thing, help people build muscle, lose weight. But even though I was trying to do one of them, I wasn't trying to do the other. So even at that end of the spectrum, I found it still kind of somewhat difficult to like, I had no gumpeth to be like, oh, here's how to fucking build your triceps. I actually don't really care that much. You know what I mean? Here's how to build your calves. I don't have any. So like, who am I to tell you? Who am I to tell you how to build calves? Do you know what I mean? It's just even so to speak at that end of the spectrum, it doesn't. But whereas now, if I help people, my whole shtick is that I help people get better at CrossFit. Yeah. And the reason why I can help people do that is because I've helped myself do it, and I've helped others. Yeah. So it's like, I feel like it's just easy for me now. I don't have to put on this fucking hat of being like, let me help you. Here's why it's authentic, like disingenuous at times, because if I was to teach you how to make it to the CrossFit Games, I wouldn't be able to do that, because I have not done it and I've not taken anyone else through that. So then it would be false for me to then advertise that.
It'd be inauthentic.
Inauthentic. So like you have maybe potential coaches doing like prep, like, oh, let me get you prepped for a photo shoot or prepped for a bodybuilding show, and they've maybe even only done one, or they haven't done any, or they've done one and it's failed. And I'm like, are you the best person to handle the job?
So this is a question. So this is a question then, right? Like talking about, do you need to look the part, or do you need to have walked the walk to be able to help or be the, or to be the best coach, right?
I think you need to have evidence.
Yeah.
That's
you need to
have evidence.
You need to either have
whether it
been
be
there-
yourself or someone else.
Yeah, you need to have been there authentically yourself, or you need to have led people to the place,
Yeah.
like whatever the goal is.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really important. And see, what you were, I was going to say the exact same thing about kind of what Jordan's doing, McGain line and stuff. It's, see, when people live and breathe the shit that they do, their program or whatever it is that they're selling changes from a program into a movement.
Yeah.
And when something's a movement, it's powerful, it's tangible. See any kind of really high performing coach on the internet that does live and breathe their shit. See all their clients, they do turn into little versions of the coach because they're emulating their behaviours. You can tell somebody do this shit, right, and that's fine. But see, when people actually start emulating behaviours and start thinking like, oh, what would Evan do? How would Evan act in this situation? How would Jordan act in this situation?
And then you start to recognise things as well. Like people, it's the conversations you start to have. This is what you realise when you're being authentic to who you say you are. You have conversations. People are clients, people aren't clients, and it's amazing when they say stuff and you're like, fucking hell, people are watching what you're doing, and you kind of forget, and they maybe bring something up and you're like, aye, and then you can talk about it. People start asking you questions on stuff that you're doing that they didn't maybe give an interest in initially. I've seen that with clients, running especially, like people who didn't have an interest in it when they first joined up. And then I start getting asked questions maybe about just like running and stuff like that. This year's not been a great year for running for me, but obviously they know I love it and they know I enjoy it. So then I start getting questions about maybe like running. But weekends has been the biggest one. Like the amount of people that are fine to open up, and this has only happened in the last year and a half, 2 years for me, where because I'm sharing my experiences of weekends and bevy and all the rest of it. People are coming to me and saying they want to try and cut back and they want to try and change how they're acting at weekends. And I'm getting that all the time. I'm getting that for clients. I'm getting that for just people on social media. And I think it's amazing, but it's because I don't get pushed every weekend. I day drink zeros. I day like control what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Like 0-0. Well, do you know why I say 0-0s, right? And I wanted to touch on it. The Guinness that I was drinking said 0-0.
0.0. And then Heineken says 0.0.
And it completely flung me for saying 0 to 0.0. And it was there after the video. I was like 0-0. And then Maester and Mars 0.0. Zero Guinness is decent, by the way.
Do you rate it?
Aye.
I've still actually not
It's
had
good,
a pint
and
of
you can
it.
get draft supposedly as well.
Well, do you know what the draft is?
No.
Basically, they get the can,
Dear.
put it in a thing, and then they fucking thing it
that right?
out of
Is that right?
the can thing. But there's a segment here. This is what I was trying to find when you were chatting there. But it's called the Solomon Paradox.
Oh wow.
Solomon
good
Paradox,
already.
right? So basically, King Solomon back in the day. Don't know when, don't ask me, Google it. But he was renowned for basically giving like amazing advice to people, right? Any problem that you had, he could fix it. However, his life, even though he was a king, was a shambles. Like cheated all the time, was bad with money, was fucking bad with his health, like had all these fucking problems himself, but was the Yoda of fixing people and giving people help and giving people information. And I think that lots of, if not every, and we have all maybe potentially been there at some stage, have had a bit of the Solomon paradox going on, where we can give fucking shit hot advice, but we are unable to apply the shit hot advice we give often or receive in our own lives. And I think that it's always a million times easier to give advice rather than to take it and accept it and build on it, because you're looking at it. If I was to give you advice, I'm not looking at your situation emotionally.
It's
Do you
just
know what I mean?
words.
It's just like point A to point B to point C. Whereas like you're like, oh well, I've got the fucking cats to feed, and Amanda's pregnant, and then this and then that, and then fucking so you then have all these things. You could tell me the exact same thing, and you could get me from point A to point B to point C, but I'm like, fuck, I've got fucking Katie to feed, and I've got fucking
Do you want Katie?
Katie, and I need to fucking, you know, whatever, kick the neighbour's cat, like all this shit, right? So I think that humans in general And I think it's hyperinflated from PTs that they're able to give advice so easily, but they're unable to actually do it themselves. I see fucking every PT these days talking about how they need to train to failure, train to this, train to that, train to failure. That's what the fucking PTs have got hard on about these days, right? It was morning routines last week, now it's training to failure this week. Show me your workout.
Show me failure.
Show me a workout. Guarantee you maybe got to failure, maybe close to once in that fucking 1 hour session. Guarantee you don't do it all the time. But yeah, make a wee post about it if you want, man. Fucking fair dincomes, crack on. Do your thing.
It's just people seeing posts though and thinking, I'm going to make a post.
Everyone is a little bit Solomon.
Do you think that your coach should be in shape?
I think they should be in shape for what they sell. So like, if I was to teach you how to clean and jerk, but I can't clean and jerk, that's false. If I was to tell you how to get a 6-pack and I haven't had or have or close to having a 6-pack, I get a little bit disingenuous. Now I think there's grey areas though. I think it's goal dependent because you can get like a 65-year-old weightlifting coach who like can't stand up without struggling, but he might be fucking a really,
knows
really
the shit.
a really, really, really good coach.
He's
And he
maybe
might have
been
done
a
it.
champ
Like
at one
Ric
point.
Flair, but wrestling.
And he might, like he might have done it like
Do you
way
know what I mean?
back in the
He's
day.
broken his shit, right? But you know he's the Don.
But I believe that.
That was his,
What?
that was his thing again.
Woo!
Was it woo?
Can I get it?
Yeah.
Woo! So what was it he said? I seen a video of him the other day. And
He
it
was on
like,
Rogan.
Was he? I was like, ladies, you ain't gonna be first, but you sure as hell can be next. He's a fucking shagger, man.
Continue.
What I was saying was, I think you need to have a little bit. Yes, I think so to a certain degree.
There was a coach. Do you know, like, I agree with you.
I think you need to be in alignment with what you sell.
I think you
fundamentally.
It's like a if you went to a dentist and had shite teeth.
you feel I'm not fucking buying off you.
Yeah,
Not a
same with
chance.
barber and the hair's all fucked, but for fuck's sake. It's the poster, it's the cover of the book. Don't judge a book by a cover. Every cunt's going to do it.
Everybody
Totally.
does.
Everyone's going to do it.
Do you know what I hate as well? And it, like, this is just my opinion. I hate people hiding behind strongman or powerlifting just to be
Fat as fuck.
a big fucking blob. Right, which, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, don't get like do what you want. But I think people, from my experience, and I'm thinking about a couple of people that I know, right? They'll say, well, I don't have the discipline to actually cut my body fat and stuff. So what can I do? Well, I could probably do powerlifting and all that. And that gives me an excuse to kind of stay as I am, because I'm doing strongman.
I mean,
Aye.
I
no,
know,
but
Then if they're wanting to teach people for that,
no, but the thing is, like, say if you do genuinely want to, but the thing is, right, see,
They might do.
don't be a shite fat loss coach and then go and be a shite powerlifting coach. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can be fat as fuck if you want and be like really good at powerlifting, really good at strongman, or a really good coach, but don't be a shite fucking Zumba instructor to be a shite muscle building instructor. That's a weird thing.
What are you? I'm a muscle building instructor, man.
I'm sure you are. Like,
To then be a fucking shite. Just don't be shite. Just be better.
Yeah,
I think is the what I'm trying to say.
aye. But I think it does come back to your proof of work.
Yeah.
I think as long as you've got that, it doesn't really matter what position you're in. But to get to that, you probably need to have done it yourself somewhat first to then get the people maybe on board. Or is it like you get the people on board? Could it maybe be by fluke one time? Do you know what I mean? Like, let's say a coach, right? Never been a CrossFit coach, never been to the games, but one of these athletes, real good prospect, and he coaches them the same way he's been coaching other people, and that one person gets to the games, then that coach probably going to be in a very good position to then start coaching people that are a higher caliber, that are close to maybe getting to the games.
Yeah, it's like, we did this with Evan.
Aye,
This is what we did
right.
to get me here. Do you want
Aye.
to come along for the ride?
Aye, even though that person's not necessarily been there. So I think
Yeah.
I have been to the games.
Yeah.
but you touched on a point a wee bit ago, and you were saying about like you like not teaching somebody to clean and jerk if you don't know how to clean and jerk. That's like for the last year now. This is August. I started CrossFit a year ago. Just waiting for Evan to say something.
I've not heard you mention it. But,
Right, a year ago, I've not once like on my social media done a post about here's how to clean a jerk, here's how to snatch, here's how to butterfly. I've not posted anything, nothing at all. Just stuck to the stuff that I know that I've done and I'm very good at, and I can help my clients with, and that's the way it should be. But I feel like there's probably so many people that get a wee bit of flavour, a wee bit of taste for it, and I'm like, I'm going to start teaching people how to clean jerk. I've seen it. I'm not going to call coaches out, but I've seen it happening right now, and I'm like, you're not even a fucking CrossFit coach.
I mean, how many High Rocks specialists have you got out there? And they've went to one afternoon out at the Hydro, and then all of a sudden
selling High Rocks programs. And all that.
Specialists in that, and I'm like.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's just staying in your lane on it. That's what it's all about.
Kinda.
I think you need to respect your scope of practice. Like,
there's a smart way of saying me and Jordan said.
Yeah.
Say that again.
You need to respect your scope of practice.
Bars, mate.
Yeah,
Bars.
every week. I show up every week. I'm dragging you two along. Like, my back's sore for carrying yous, right?
So this has been the No Rep podcast. We're going to finish on a high. We can't say anything else better than that.
But you do. Like, I wouldn't coach people how to powerlift. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't coach people how to prep for a bodybuilding show.
And Jazz Jordan says when I teach something how to get.
And I definitely wouldn't do somebody's teeth because I'm not a dentist. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know my shit. Yeah. Stick to your lane, do the thing. Like, but it's just what folk do. Like they get. I think people get obsessed with the new thing that they're interested in, and they go, "Oh yes, I can now do this."
Right. So that's bang on. And I think as an early day coach, that's what happens.
Do you know it's people as well? I think so funny. Like, so see when somebody starts doing CrossFit, for example, right? They then start training all their clients for CrossFit,
and because they just don't know how to differentiate. They don't know how to serve the person what the person needs to be served with. More just what's easy for me, what do I want people to be doing, rather than what do they need to be doing.
Yeah, because this is exactly the thing. They're literally teaching or coaching people because that's the shit that they do, not the thing that the person needs.
Yeah, but I've done that in the past.
We probably all have. So, Sandra, mother of 4, who's 50. Let's do a bodybuilding split. You're going to do a chest day.
We're doing chest and tries a day, darling.
Chest and tries. Right. I'll tan you. We'll get you staged.
Can you feel that? Your chest?
Can you feel that?
15 sets of fucking chest.
We're going to do German volume saying the day. Sandra, come on.
We're going to put the cuffs on your elbows, Sandra. We're going to, you can feel the chest. Get that to fuck. Get it to the bin.
If you take your pre-workout, you take your protein, Sandra.
Sandra's on the beta. I mean, man, she's tingling on that.
Why is my face tingling? Yeah, you'll be fine. Just
the
keep
bees.
10 minutes.
Fuck, man. But then I think that you potentially see this. You see this a lot from people who are early on starting out as coaches, because they need to find their path. They need to find their way. And the generic thing is, if you're a personal trainer, you start off with teaching people how to build muscle and lose fat. That's what you do. That's day one.
Generally, yep.
That's what you are. You help people do that because generally that's what most of the population want or need, right? Mm-hmm. A little bit more muscle, a little bit less fucking gelatinous titties, right?
Gelatinous
titties.
That's what they need. And then I think that over time you're just waiting to find your voice and find your feet and find what you're interested in, and then you sort of find your way into that kind of niche of people.
A really good bit of advice for any coach out there is that a lot of people don't have the awareness to actually know what they need. So when you're marketing and when you're telling people, meet them where they're at. So if somebody thinks they need to lose weight, but in reality, you know they need to do X, Y, Z, meet them where they're at. And then when they're in your program, give them what they need. Mm-hmm. So you're meeting them where they're at. And when they're in,
I used to do this, right?
You're giving them what they need.
So like back in my early days, when people were like that, I really want to lose a lot of fat around my stomach. I'm like, right, we'll see at the end, right? You know what we'll do? Blast the abs for 5 minutes at the end, right? So you do all the things that they need throughout the session, and at the end they leave with what they think they need or what they want. It's like a burning sensation in their core because really they're losing all that. And I'm like, do you know what? See at the end, just fucking smack. I really want like just more definition on my trying. Right, see at the end, mate. We'll just 5 minutes of trying.
It doesn't matter how many times you tell them or not, how many times they've heard it, does not matter.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. But then the thing is, if they leave feeling like they're getting what they need, even though we spent an hour fucking squatting and fucking doing leg extensions, leg curls to try and whatever, I don't know, just speaking generally here, and it's let's just fucking really target the lower abs here, some hanging leg raises just to burn off that
flutter kicks.
Do you know what I mean? And just fucking be on your way, and everybody's happy because you know they're getting closer to their goal and they've left feeling a little bit closer to where they
That's
want to
good.
be.
Good advice.
But then I think so. Coaches at the start though, this is another thing as well, is that when they're kind of first getting into it and then they're trying to post all this stuff on social media, I think that when they're trying to teach people how to do things when they've not taught enough people how to do them yet. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if I'd helped one person with a bodybuilding prep and then it's like, now starting my bodybuilding prep series, blah, blah, blah. And it's not real. I think people need to do more things
Before.
and then talk about the things that they're doing rather than the things that they can accomplish. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, rather than like creating all this new shit, just documenting the stuff that you're currently doing. I think that's what coaches should be doing at the start. And it's something that I wish I did at the start, was just like documenting, like, here's my training, here's this person's training, here's that person's training. Because people are super, super interested in that. People are nosy at the end of the day. Like, the things that get the most views is like, you think about the UFC, for example, the embedded series, doesn't matter who's fighting. 9 episodes long, couple of million views on a 5-minute video just to see them landing in the airport, a wee conversation, them hitting pads. Everybody's fucking curious to see what's happening behind the closed doors. So like, if you take that into your own business and you see like, well, here's what I'm doing with this
The journey,
person.
innit?
Here's how I'm building out the program. You're documenting the shit that you're doing rather than trying to be like, here's how to train to failure. You don't need to
This is
talk
like
about that.
Gary V always talks about it, document rather than create.
Yeah.
And is that what he says?
Yeah,
Document
that's
rather than
great.
create, which is basically
We definitely need more posts on creatine though, that's for sure.
I've not seen any anyway.
because I always think that, like, do you take it before you train, or do you take it after you train, or do you take it in the morning?
I need more. Definitely. More ass shots too. There is
Jordan.
from you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Glutes green.
I've been working on the old glutes and hammies.
Damn.
You actually
boy.
do. I see it all the time. Like,
Damn,
exciting. Damn, boy. Look at this.
But you look at my ass all the time, or you see me?
Both. I actually see both.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I've actually, my lower back goes straight into my hamstrings. I've got no fucking glutes, right? Amanda makes fun of it, right? She's like, look at 10 of your asses. But it's
my lower back
genetics.
goes straight into my
It does. The lower back straight in hamstrings.
Mate, you can build that. I don't care what.
I'm gonna. Do you know? I'm gonna train my glutes, then I'm gonna release a booty builder blasting.
There you go. There's one
bum.
glute session.
There's one glute session.
Evan's glute.
Hey
game.
girls, join Peach Club with Ev.
You need to take a picture where you're standing, then take another picture, pose a bit, and make it look more
More glutey.
More glutey.
Like a shelf.
Aye.
I seen one of
Aye.
them today, and it was a bird being like, everybody has a bikini body. I suppose she's in phenomenal shape. She's pulling her down her thing a wee bit, and she's fucking squeezing in her tits, and she's like that. Right. And then she does another one where she's not doing that, but she actually looks the same. Everyone has a bikini body. Shut it!
Aye.
You fucking boots. Right? You wouldn't be doing that if you were fucking a size 20, would you? No, you wouldn't. You'd be wearing one of the fucking ponchos instead.
Do you know? I'm actually so fucking. I say it at least every 3 episodes. I'm so against posts like that, like fucking cunts that are ripped to shit. And they'll do the beat on my fat.
No, I'd love-
Literally, look
I'd
at
love-
that. We're all the same.
I would love if somebody just took the pictures,
Belly button.
posted them without the need for talking about the picture. Post the picture and talk about something else. If you want to be that inclusive with the full body image thing, post it and talk about something else. Don't even mention it. But they can't. They have to bring fact. There has to be all post that to talk about. Everybody has a bikini body, rather than just
do you know what
post
else?
it and talk about something else.
Do you know what else I find a little bit odd, right? Now people get butthurt about saying how social media is just a highlight reel. It's just a highlight reel. It's not real. It's not real. It's not real. It's blah, blah, blah. It's curated perfection. And like anything that MD posts on Instagram is like edited and tweaked within an inch of its life, right? Why do people get upset by that? Because anything that's out there in history is like tweaked and edited to perfection. You read a book, there's not a single spell mistake in there. If there is, that fuck's went wrong, right? You go to a movie, every single cut scene is perfect. You don't have shit in the background. It's that's how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
In school, you do work. If it's wrong, you get fucking marked down for it, right? Everything is kind of, that's the way it's meant to be. an artist paints a picture, it's not going to have fucking fingerprints and all that all over it. It is going to generally be not perfect, but good. So why is it that if you make a highlight reel or a thing on Instagram, that it's seen as a negative thing because it's on social media?
I think
whereas the whole world in general is designed that way.
100%. But I think it's more like it's fine posting your best bits, right? But I think it's then coming down to the fact that the edited images that are out there are like edited, changed, so it's actual skewing people's perception.
That's a different
Kettle of fish.
Yeah, that's a different kettle of fish. That,
Okay,
aye, right. And the thing is, man, let's not lie. There's plenty of birds out there that have and still do brutally manipulate their pictures. I mean, warp wardrobes and all sorts to get the fucking body image that they want.
I do it, so I've got a set of glutes.
I've seen mad shit.
I've seen you there.
Have you seen, like, I've had stuff sent in my group chat, like birds that they'll be standing on a night out and like they'll be standing in front of a door and the door's like this. Right? Door's off fucked. And you're like, mate, how can you not see that?
No, but you see also
How
as
can
well.
you not see that? And
like,
you're like that, that's fucked.
It's fucked.
But
That's
then,
fucked.
I suppose the question, this could be another whole fucking episode, is like, why do people feel the need to do that?
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
that could be another
it's-
episode.
Grow up. Straight up, grow up.
Grow up.
It's not that big a deal. What is worse is seeing a warped door behind you than seeing you carrying a little bit more sugar.
Because then people,
Do you know what I mean?
people are going to
Join
blame
my programme.
Aye, 'cause then people are
Papa,
going
we'll
to
sort it.
people are going to blame the fucking joiner.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I think we'll wrap it up there.
Anyway, this has been episode 50 of the
That's a
Road
good
Rep
episode.
podcast.
Episode 50, boys. Yeah, a bit of a milestone.
Yeah.
As a milestone,
Middlestone.
fucking hell, halfway to honour. But do you know what I said that one instead of Jordan?
What? No, it was him that
Oh,
it wasn't you. I
That's
didn't hear
fine.
what you said.
Anyway, before you go, don't be a hoe.
Share the show.
Share the show.
Everything else as well. So
What was that noise?
comment on the YouTube video your favourite part. Can I hate that man?
Why
Just
do you
share
say
just share the show and I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for listening.
Love you, bye. Happy 50th.